Hi everyone, welcome to CATKing, and today we're going to be discussing how to crack TISSNET and I'm going to be talking about do's and don'ts of TISS. TISS is the smallest exam, if I have to say, by time taken in the exam. It's only 100 minutes and you got 100 questions to solve. So today I'm going to be speaking about and helping you in how to crack TISSNET and how to get this 100 minutes and 100 questions marathon resolved. Okay, let's get to the next slide. Okay, so now let's have a look around the paper pattern. So people who don't know, there's a small change which TISS guys have done recently about the paper pattern, and which is that this year the GK is going to be 40 questions rather than being 35 questions last time. So TISS is an exam which is looking mainly for the non-engineering crowd, if I have to say. TISS is a college which is famous for HR, as you all know, and also TISS looks for people with a great social background or social sensitivity. All the would-be social managers are also being welcomed in this examination. So let's look and have a deep dive at this examination. Okay, so there's lot of mess around this slide, but let me make your life a little bit easier, and I'm going to pull in up previous 5-year analysis of this exam. And it's very important since this is a standard exam and there has not been much of a change in this exam. As I always say, in any of the examination past 5 years, none of the exam has got more than 125 questions, whereas a total time limit of 100 minutes, which is 1 hour and 40 minutes, is the standard in all the examination. So let's look at 2011, 2012 and 2013, and then 14 and 15, and try to get a pattern out of the entire thing. Rule number 1, TISS exam is always moderate to difficult in the starting areas of 2011 and 2012, but later on 2013 onwards the examination pattern has gone to slightly easier. We'll talk in detail. If you look at this, the GK was a part of the entire section in 2011, and again GK was a part of the section in 2012, and similarly in 2013. So, and 2013 and 2016, which is coming up right now, has got a similarity because both of these exams have got 100 questions and 100 minutes. And let's look at the next slide and walk in through what's happening in the 2014 and 15. Alright, so this is an important slide as we are looking at the recent past in 2014 and 2015. 2015 also had 100 questions, whereas 2014 has 95 questions. But here one thing was different, that GK or general awareness was segregated. I'm going to spend some time on general awareness because this is an exam where they're looking for modern social guys and HR guys. Here, the civics, history and the geography part of the entire social studies per se are really important. And English proficiency. TISS is an exam which I would rank right now is going to be testing you on English proficiency, not equivalent to ZAT, but slightly in between CAT and ZAT. Some people may disagree because on this, but there was a time when TISS has tested on really good English. When I'm saying good English, the vocabulary has been picked up from Norman Lewis Word Power Made Easy, and people who didn't spend much time on learning vocabulary and the list, they really had some troubles in the English proficiency section. And this is an exam which is going to be testing you entirely on verbal ability. When I'm saying verbal, vocabulary. So let's look and have a deep dive into this. Okay, so this is a pretty heavy slide, and I'm going to be talking about social sensitivity and contemporary issues. I would recommend to pause and read through the entire thing because in the recent past, from 2011 to 2015, I've spent some time and picked up in the entire all the questions which are important from this perspective. In fact, the 40 questions which are expected, you can see what are the issues. For example, contemporary issues. Okay, so on the contemporary issues, let's look back in the history in 2015, and I would recommend to go through the entire thing. For example, Swachh Bharat. So Swachh Bharat may sound a little bit old, but it's not. Digital India, it also may sound old, but it's not. So Swachh Bharat, Digital India, and a couple of other things like Man Ki Baat, etc. were the talk of the town for this season. So I would recommend all these kids who are preparing for TISS this year should go through the entire social issues for sure. History, this is one thing. People have been reading newspapers a lot and going through the history magazines, or reading some novels about Indian history specifically. You may get some important dates. I'll give you a quick link about the important dates in the in the coming part of the presentation. Prime Ministers of India, UID, which was a buzzword way back in 2014-15. Chairman of Planning Commission, Niti Aayog, again an important one. Manesar case was the longer one. FDI controversy were the past few days, few weeks ahead. FDI, FII is one question which TISS always asked about, because the percentage is always in news. Way back, if you look back, FDI and FII into the insurance sector and the retail sector has always been news past about 14-15 days. Here I'm giving you some pointers which can help you to think about what kind of questions which can be expected in the current exam. People who haven't prepared much about the GK yet, I would recommend to just go to Google and type in CATKing, and you can search for TISS. You may get all the links and all the information which is available on the CATKing website. You can go through the entire stuff. In fact, social GK is being posted. You can see Helen Keller here. She's one of my role models. In fact, I also work for an NGO which is inspired by Helen Keller. So you should know who Helen Keller is. She was deaf and mute, and she has been responsible for a lot of good work in this sector. So let's jump to the next slide. Alright, so we're going to have a deep dive in the questions, and you're going to be seeing how easy this exam is. See guys, it's a 100 marks exam, and the cutoffs vary somewhere around 80 to 85 is my expectation for this year. But it's going to be an easy exam. But the cutoffs in the recent past have not gone as low as 73 if you look at the recent past. So my expectation of this year would be somewhere around 75 to 85 would be the big range. If the exam pattern is difficult, then the cutoff goes back to 75. Remember guys, it's a 100 minute sprint, and you need to get 85 marks. So the questions are slightly easy. Let's look at this question which says 32 amongst a group of 60 people who like classical and Hindustani and Carnatic music. It's a fairly easy question. So if you look at this and you can solve this, I would recommend to pause your slide and go through these entire stuff which is given here, because it's damn important to understand the type and the level of difficulty which TISS has been asking so far. As I said, apart from the verbal ability, all the examination is pretty simple and straightforward. For example, look at this question number 36. What's the missing term? It's a simple formula of n cube plus 2. So TISS always asks series where n cube plus 1, n cube plus 2 has been a part of the entire stuff so far. So I would recommend to have a look at this: n cube plus 1, n cube minus 1, n cube plus 2, n cube minus 2 for sure in this competitive exam. It could be 3 also. So every 2-3 questions of series are asked in TISS which are here. I repeat, it's a speed based test. You can mug and remember these series so that when you look at the question, you should be able to give an answer. Let's move to the next slide. Alright, so we are looking at more questions of quants. See, such a simple questions asked last year in 2015. A machine needs 2 hours to finish, machine B 3 hours to finish C. It's 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C. Answer is equal to 1. Standard, easy exam. This is the in-circle formula. If you know the in-circle formula, it's easy. If you don't know, I would recommend to go and have a look at in-circle as well as the in-circle as well as the circumcircle formula. It's a standard question. Okay, so people who don't know this, let me quickly explain you this. So you need to find the semi-perimeter, which is S equals to A plus B plus C divided by 2, and then you can quickly punch into the hero's formula: S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C ka whole under root, and this is going to give you an answer to this. This is a standard question again. So let me jump into the entire thing. The question which I'm not speaking right now, I would recommend to pause your screens and solve those. These are based on the past 15 years. Past 5-year questions of TISS and the most repeated ones which I am talking about here. Okay, in the recent past, if you look at the GK questions, Indian history, it talks about rulers, dynasties, emperor. With no offense to the examination, but this is a little bit in favor of Delhi. I don't know why. There were 3 questions asked about Delhi Sultanate. If you know these questions, you can get to an answer. If you don't know, a well-read guy who is from history background would be able to sail through much more easier. Okay, so TISS loves the dates, and the Consumer Rights Day is observed on what date? It's 15th of March. The Commonwealth Games were held on, etc. You can look through these questions. Which of the following is known as Asia's Nobel Prize? So remember, guys, if you haven't been reading about awards and important dates, I would recommend you to go through these dates for sure and awards. There'll be at least 2 to 3 questions and 2 to 3 questions on dates. One exam which is still asking you on dates and awards is Tata Institute of Social Sciences NET. So please go through the same. An important one and an important date which I feel, Students' Day, it's 15th of October. Oh, by the way, that's my birthday also, and also Abdul Kalam's birthday, and it's considered the Students' Day, which is on 15th of. It's one of my favorite questions and expected question in TISS. Let's see if it comes. Important days and Nobel laureates and the books and authors, as I said, is important. So 3 things which is coming on the static GK front are awards and dates and books and authors. Awards, dates, books and authors. Just remember, I'm going to be doing giving you an acronym. I call it BAD, books and authors, awards and dates. So please go through these. This is also important from your CMAT perspective. As I said, these 2 examinations are going to be testing you in this. Somewhere around 6 to 7 questions are going to be from this. In fact, I'm going to share you a quick thing which you can read through to know the entire important dates of 2015. Okay, so the quick one here is go to Wikipedia and type 2015 in India. I repeat, go to Wikipedia and type 2015 India. You're going to see a lot of dates. I have posted this on Facebook also. In fact, in the comment section, you can see this link. So it talks about the entire dates, which are the important ones from 2015, starting from Swachh Bharat to all these places when these things were started off. So I'm expecting about 2-3 questions which could be asked from 2015. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, let's talk about cutoffs. So we got 30 questions in quant, verbal ability 30 questions, and GK about 40 questions. With the cutoffs going high in this year, I would say, looking at even NMAT scores of the students, every year the cutoffs are going higher and higher. The paper level difficulty of TISS is going to be easy to moderate. I would recommend a cutoff would be 85 for TISS HR, and other programs would be 50 to 55. People who are strictly aiming HR at TISS or HR as ZAT, or in fact the HR program in these 2 top colleges for HR in India, I would recommend not to score anything less than 80. The total overall range of cutoffs this year would range somewhere around 75 to 85. I repeat, if the paper is going to be difficult, it's going to be not that difficult that you cannot get 75 questions correct. So speed is going to be the key here. So my say on the good number of attempts would be 25, 25, and GK is 35. Even if you don't know stuff, if you've been reading newspaper in the recent past, I recommend all students, in fact people who are writing CMAT also, that you need to read 4 pages every year. You need to read every day 4 pages of say your newspaper. You pick up Times of India or Hindu for that matter. I would recommend reading the front page. That's number 1. Number 2, I would recommend reading the business page, because most of the competitive exams are going to be asking you business GK. Number 3, the most importantly, the editorial. Everybody says you should read editorial, but nobody tells you what needs to be done and how editorial needs to be read. Right? There's one video of reading comprehension strategies on YouTube in which I tell you guys how to read an editorial of maybe Times of India or Hindu. And the 4th, the important page is sports. CMAT like sports. This has an aversion towards sports. There's hardly any time which TISS has asked these questions. So I repeat, the front page, the business page, the editorial, and the sports section. These are the 4 most important pages. You should keep a habit of reading it. From now to CMAT also you can read that. Students come and argue with me, hi sir, why should we read in the recent newspapers? All the question paper must have been set about 6 months, 4 months back. That's not true, guys. In my recent past, about 7 to 8 years of teaching, I've seen questions that have been asked which are as quick as last 1 week old, just to make sure that even the paper setter these are either they are online exams or they are written exams. The printing and the online editing is so quick that people they leave some things to show that the paper is very recent. So you can expect anything which is in last 10 days back also. At the same time, in newspapers, whenever you see that whenever the newspaper is talking about any new article, maybe it's Swachh Bharat campaign, it always refer back to how it was started, why it was started, who are the brand ambassador, why Amitabh Bachchan was pulled in, even Kapil from Comedy Nights were pulled in. So it talks about history also, and it covers up the entire thing. So reading newspaper, there's no particular time when to start. I would say start as soon as possible. All right, so let's look at a deep dive into the quantitative section and go through the entire important section of arithmetic as well as geometry. TISS loves arithmetic. All CATKing students, non-CATKing students, whoever watching this video, I would recommend to go through your entire books, whichever you have, and go through the time and work, time, speed, distance, ratio and proportion, percentages. You can see 3, 3, 3, 2. They're standard past about couple of years in MAT. They've been asking in TISS. They've been asking the same set of questions. Geometry is one of the TISS most favorite. 6 to 8 questions were asked on geometry. Modern maths. If you look at the TISS papers, Venn diagram is one thing which TISS has been asking about in every year. Probability and PNC 2, number series 5. So number series, Venn diagrams, arithmetics, and geometry. So I repeat, it's arithmetic, it's geometry, it's Venn diagram, and number series. These 4 topics are somewhere around 60 to 70% of your entire quant. For the next couple of days, whatever are left to test, I would recommend to go through the entire same. All the students who've got basic books or intensive book of CATKing, please test all these speed-based tests from your books. Chapter number 6 to chapter number 11 of your CATKing books cover the entire arithmetic for sure. Just do solved examples and they're more than sufficient to crack all these examinations. I repeat, it's 100 marks, 100 questions sprint, and speed is the key. The paper of level of difficulty is not engineer friendly. It's very easy. This is an exam for non-engineers. In fact, the only exam in India which is for non-engineers. So focus in these areas and don't worry much about quants. It's going to be easy and smooth sail. Okay, so next one is my favorite section, language skills or reading comprehension vocabulary. Vocabulary, again, one of the only exam which is high focused on vocabulary. So people who have been reading Norman Lewis word power made easy, you can go through these and go through the entire videos. In fact, I have done the first few sessions of Norman Lewis. In fact, about 11 or 13 sessions of Norman Lewis are available on YouTube. You can just go to YouTube and either search for my name, Rahul CATKing. You can get the entire playlist. And my recommendation is just go through this entire playlist for an entire test preparation, as 20 questions are expected out of vocabulary in every year in the past 5 to 7 years. Vocabulary usage, fill in the blanks, they're all standard. Reading comprehension, again, the only exam in the country which is low on RC skills, but you cannot skip RC. Somewhere around 5 questions out of the entire set is reading comprehensions. Okay, one section which you have been scared of so far is GK. History is about 8. As I said, books and author is important. Sports and arts. In the recent past, I talked about sports. So there is only one question which has come last year, but arts is also important. Social, which talks about the Swachh Bharat and all these campaigns. Okay, so books and authors, we'll go through that. I repeat, it's again books and authors, awards, and dates. So BAT is my favorite for TISS as well as CMAT. Paper set is favorite, in fact. So books and authors and dates are really important for this competitive exam. Okay, so I don't want to spend much time on this testimonial. This is Renu Tulani TISS MHA. I'm just pulling it up just to show you that the basic books is what she did, and last minute strategy which I've just talked about, and also the notes for the shortcuts which have been explained were talked about Renu Tulani in her testimonial. So go through this, people who are really focused on cracking this examination. All right, my favorite slide again, as it's vocabulary, and I love to teach vocab. So what I've done is I've taken the entire set of the most important words which have been asked in Indian competitive exam, and to your ease, what I've done is I've clubbed them together as one. For example, harmful, baleful, baneful, insidious, minatory, perfidious, pernicious. These all words are mean harmful, whereas timid, as you know, which means small, or fearful, or diffident, which means shy, pusillanimous, which means very small, trepidation also, which is like very small or fearful, are called as timid. Stubborn, which is immovable, or stubborn person, you can say obstinate, pertinacious, refractory, intransient, not moving, beginning and young. This is also my favorite. Burgeoning, callow, tyro. Now tyro is a very important word because tyro sounds like somebody really smart and big and been there, done that, but that's not true. Tyro means a beginner, a guy who's just started his whole journey of life, or starting to learn music or art or architecture or literature for that matter. There's one more word which you can add, which is my favorite. It's called greenhorn. So greenhorn, greenhorn is a very cute word. Greenhorn is a word which is derived from the cows. In fact, the small babies of the cow. Whenever a small calf is born, the horns of the cow are green in color. They're not black, they're not brown, they're green, and hence this word means a fresh or a fledgling guy, or a neophyte, or a novice, or a newbie who has just started his career, or who has just taken birth, for that matter. So I love this word. Next one, terse and overblown, bombastic, circumlocution, talking too much, grandiloquent, talking in a maximum, in a grandiose way, verbose and voluble, also one of my favorite. More or less, both means overblown or wordy. Slightly different ones, but at a higher level you can consider them, which means overblown or wordy. Okay, so this is again an extended version. Pause your slide, sit with a pen and paper, go through these words. People are going to be writing CET, CMAT, and TISS. In fact, I cover all of them in the workshops. You go through the same. I've made your life easier by clubbing them together as assist, as false. Boring, which means cliched. Now, cliched is not exactly boring, but it's a similar category because it means repeated. Satisfy, appease, assuage, mitigate, mollify, pacify. To calm somebody is called as satisfy. So go through the same. Acerbic, acrimonious. This is again my favorite. I teach in the class by saying कुछ ऐसी बात बोलना कि रात को नींद ना आए is called as acerbic or acrimonious or acidulous. Talking too much negative about something, or in fact किसी को गाली गलौज करना, is called as acerbic. Okay, so again this is the third set. You can go through the same and pause your slides. People who really want to crack it, criticize one of the important words. See, it's English language. It's a test for language, and language, the beauty of the language only comes in when you either praise someone or either you criticize someone. So the praise words and the criticized words are most important. In fact, the tone of the passage words also come in from this, where the author is trying to castigate, where the author is trying to remonstrate or reprehend, to vituperate, which means talking really bad about somebody. Okay, so people are giving TISS in a couple of days. I would recommend to go what Renu also talking about the mocks. We got 2 mocks, full-length mocks and 50 sectional tests. Go through these mocks. I think they're available for $500. You can WhatsApp. I think this is Poonam's number. You can speak to them. The most importantly, people are preparing for CET mocks. There are 20 full mocks and 50 sectional tests. I would recommend immediately after your test, don't lose the steam and jump into the mocks. People who are really aiming for Jamnalal Bajaj, you have to give a 20 full-length mocks for sure. There are 2-3 different packs where CET mocks are there. CET 16. CET 16 mocks, you're going to see a Palvi Thilve's video also. Palvi Thilve is rank 1 CET. She's going to be talking about her experience with these mocks in this package also. In fact, Priyank Chheda, 2014 CET rank rank 1 was also a CATKing student. Priya Pallavi Thilve's video also, as I said, is going to be available. People who are really aiming for CET, we got a free workshop happening up in Andheri, Borivali and Powai. We call it our BAP centers, so BAPP. So it's Borivali, Andheri and Powai. Borivali, Andheri and Powai. So people who are in Bombay, you can avail this opportunity to meet CET rank 1 and also clear all your doubts and prepare for the best college called one of the best colleges in Bombay called Jamnal Bajaj. Alright, so towards that, I just want to thank you and thank you for spending time with me or with Rahul on TISSNET. What you can do is you can catch hold of me on Facebook. Rahul CATKing is my Facebook page, and also you can subscribe to this channel. We keep posting new stuff. People are preparing for 2016 CAT as well as CET. Right time is now. It's 1 year to go, and people are giving TISS this weekend. All the best. These are numbers. I'm available to meet one-on-one to all these students. All I want to say is people who are out of steam right now, there are still 2 to 3 months and 3 more exams to go, which is TISS, CMAT and CET for sure. And CMAT can get you good colleges like Sydenham, etc. And CET definitely Jamnal Bajaj. And TISS is your aim. Just go and get cracking. It's an easier exam, 100 marks, 100 questions sprint. So all the best, guys. I hope you enjoyed the session. You can comment or subscribe to the channel and stay glued. All the best. Thank you so much.